Hello, my name is Opal Singleton. I am the president and CEO of Million Kids, and we have what we call an insider alert. And I want to share with you about the dark web in this case and the fact that the activity is really up on the dark web. Million Kids Insider Alert is meant to be like breaking news, new technologies, changes and trends, those kinds of things, case analysis and like that. I hope you will join us. Please go to insideralerts.com and give us your name, sign up. It is a service provided to you by Million Kids. Please follow us on Facebook at Million Kids and also go to millionkids.org to follow our work and sign up. So I read this article and it stimulated me to make this video. The article says dark web forum activity surged 44% during the early COVID months. And that caught my attention. So I want to talk a little bit about why that is important to you. Now, these are some of the quotes from this particular article. The link is down below, but it's also on our websites and on Insider Alerts, MK Insider Alerts for what it's worth. Okay, so what is the dark web? Let's start there. If you think of the internet as a bucket of water, the top 3% is what we call the clear web or the surface web. That's where we have Google and Chrome and Bing and IP addresses, and we can track each other. We have search engines. Then below that is the deep web. That is where big corporations function. And below that is the dark web. The bulk of the internet is the dark web. And you can't just go from the surface web to the dark web. You have to intentionally transition by having specialized equipment. The most common equipment for that is called Tor, the Tor router, T-O-R. That stands for the Onion Router, T-O-R. If you see a young person with a .onion account, you need to talk to them because kids can get fentanyl in there, drugs, hardcore pornography, and that's also where predators live. So, and operate out of. So watch out for that TOR. So let's talk about the dark web and why the increase in activity is so important related to the COVID virus. All kinds of things go on in the dark web. Now, not everything in the dark web is bad, okay? There are countries that have no freedom of speech, where you can't just go on and do certain kinds of social media. You'll be either arrested or taken down or like that. And a lot of countries will then operate in the dark web. But there's also a lot of very questionable activity going on in the dark web. Gun dealers, drug dealers, fentanyl dealers, money launderers, hackers selling your name and your credit card information, but also child pornographers. What has happened in the past few years is that pedophiles from all over the world have used this idea of social media connecting the entire world. They put out signs and images is what I'm looking for, artwork that kind of indicates what they're into, and they find each other and they exchange the web addresses in the dark web. You see, in the dark web, it isn't like the clear web where you can just Google something. They do have a directory, but you need a specific address. So they exchange those addresses, go in the dark web, and they join these large-scale child pornography rings. Here is an example of one of them that they took down. This is a little bit older yet, but an example of Welcome to Dreamboard that they took back. Here is Welcome to Video. It was out of South Korea, but it had over 1 million paid subscribers. They use Bitcoin or cryptocurrency to do that. You'll often, if you follow me on Insider Alert, you'll see that I am a big researcher on cryptocurrency. And I believe by the end of the year, almost all your apps will have a cryptocurrency. But in this particular case, they use Bitcoin. But I want you to see how big this was. Over 1 million paid subscribers. Well, you say, that's South Korea. What's that got to do with me? Because those paid subscribers have come together from all over the world. In fact, they're arresting a lot of them right here in Southern California. And the way this works is they either violate a child themselves or they do sextortion, meaning they meet teenagers online or young kids online and get them to send a naked photo, which they can then buy, sell, or trade out into the pornography world. Okay. In fact, I just did a Million Kids Insider Alert on Pornhub, where they had to take down 9 out of 13 million of their videos because they contain child pornography. How big is this business? Nobody really knows, okay? But we know it's big. Look at all these servers. This is out of Canada. They were containing child pornographers. The reason this article is so important to you, especially if you're a parent or a teacher or a pastor or grandparent or law enforcement, social worker, is that these rings are coming together and they are tricking a lot of kids. And that is happening in a big way because we have a lot of kids online right now with the COVID thing. And on top of it, pedophiles become agitated during a time of high pressure. And the COVID lockdown is a time of high pressure. This is an example of a what we call a crowdsourcing child pornography ring. There were 6 of them. They lived all over the United States. Okay. They weren't related, even though they look a lot alike. Okay. They had never met. They found each other on the internet and they were tricking thousands of our kids into sending that naked photo. And then they would blackmail the photo. They even gave themselves special names, hacker, looper, finder, depending on how that child responded. Not one of those kids ever knew that they, in fact, had been tricked by 6 different men and that their photo was going out online. Well, think about what's happening here. During the COVID crisis, more and more kids are doing online learning and they're spending more time online and they're younger and younger. And I'm going to tell you, you put a 7-year-old online, they're not going back to their bicycle. And so they are very much at risk. And the fact that these numbers are up is really scary. Here is an example of the Playpen child pornography ring. It was run by Stephen Chase. And what they do is they would trick thousands and thousands of kids into sending the naked photo, and those photos would go off. So those numbers are up 44% just during the COVID crisis. The activity just in the dark net. Now, we know this takes place in the clear net as well as the dark net, okay? So what are we to do? It's not enough to go, the sky is falling, Chicken Little, okay? We know this is a danger. So we need a plan to go after it. And part of my plan is to educate you. I would ask you to, if you haven't already, purchase our books. You can go to meandkids.org. It will help our work, but more important, it will educate you. Read all about the societal shift. We have a movie that'll be coming out this year that will contain a documentary all about how this works. Get involved with your child's technology. Do not be intimidated. Our kids are going to live in a world without borders, and some of our kids will end up being violated. They need you to get informed. So you can do part of that by following Million Kids. Talk to your kids about that blackmailer prison. The minute they send a photo, they have put themselves in a blackmail prison. Maybe they'll get blackmailed, but maybe they won't. And they won't know. It might not happen for 2 months down the road or 6 months down the road, or it might happen tomorrow. And the blackmail will begin. And the numbers are staggering. Do you know that 58% of the kids who send a naked photo will go out and meet up with that pedophile to negotiate back that photo, and they get violated? Kids feel like they can't tell. Share with your child. You can tell me anytime, and I will be there for you. I hope now that you will never again send a naked photo, because the minute you do, you're giving away your freedom. But if you do and it goes bad, I hope you will trust me enough that we can talk about it. Think about this. Before your child goes online, They need to understand where naked photos go when you hit send, that the internet is not a private thing. In fact, no one owns the internet. And those photos, once they go out there, can go and they can be intercepted, but they can also be used by a lot of people. And the person you're talking to online may not be the person you know. When you put a hormonal teenager on one of the big apps, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, they're on there with over 1 billion users. And I'm going to tell you that at least 1% of that billion users are going to be bad guys. You need to talk to your kids about where naked photos go when you hit send before you ever put them on the internet. Finally, if you know anybody that's being violated, this is how you report it. You can contact them. You can report it anonymously, report that your child's being violated or that you think that there's someone on there that's trying to reach your child. And in many of these cases, in fact, the next Million Kids Missing Kids alert I'm going to do will be all about a teenager that sent that photo and ended up being violated. So this is how you report. My name is Opal Singleton. This is Million Kids. I hope you'll continue to receive insider alerts. I hope you'll follow Million Kids on Facebook. Go to millionkids.org. And if you have it in your heart to support our work and donate, just go to millionkids.org and hit that donate button. We seriously need your support. We thank you.